What's going on, guys? It's D-Span here. Um, so this will be the first in a series of just open discussion videos on ADHD, ADHD advice, tips. I guess I'll call it tips, and just my thought process. I'd like to preface this with I am not in any way a psychiatrist or professional counselor. I'm a personal trainer with ADHD, and I'm just sharing anecdotal advice and stories based on my experience and how I've been able to survive unmedicated and basically just get through my day. All right. So the first thing I tried to do, which I felt was important, was just to be open about it. And when I say be open, I mean just acknowledge it with the people that it should be acknowledged with the most. You know, family members, your spouse, whatever. Because I wasn't diagnosed until 32, I think. I'm still going back and forth on the age. I forget the year. But yeah, basically, I had to look back on all the things that happened in the past, mistakes I made, and I'm thinking people I might have to make amends to, or things that might have to be explained. But most of all, you know, when it comes to just your family and people close to you, like there's a balance there that's hard to find. Like you want to talk about it, you want to be open about it, but you don't want to hammer it in their heads. I hate even saying the word ADHD because I feel like I don't want to use it as an excuse for anything, you know. But there's times when you have to excuse yourself. So you just, once you figure out how to manage it, you have to get some ground rules out of the way, right? So I had a serious discussion with my girlfriend about it, and I was just like, listen, this is not something that's ever going to change. All we can do is manage it and try behaviors to get through it. So, you know, all the time when there'd be a story happening or she's telling me something and I'll zone out, of course, I'll catch myself and I'll stop her in the moment and just be like, excuse me, I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. Could you repeat that? And I make sure to try to do that because it's worse, you know how it is. It's worse when you just act like you heard something or you think you heard it. And then if you're questioned about it later, you're just like, what? Or you're expected to have some kind of response. So like, we're constantly convincing ourselves that we heard what was said to us, but it's really not registering. And that also happens when you meet new people, you know. So, you know, every time you meet somebody new, it's like, oh, hey, my name is Sam, whatever. And then you're like, okay. And then 10 seconds later, it's gone. And it's not because you're forgetful, it's because you never actually recorded the information. The information did not hit you and you did not retain it. You just heard it and it was gone. So that happens all the time when I meet new people. So unfortunately, I'm still figuring out how to get around that and get their name later. You know, that's a practice I'm working on. But as far as, again, conversations, people close to you, you know, just try to be open. Just be like, you know, I'm sorry, could you repeat that? I didn't hear you. You know, I tuned out for a second. If they know you have it, you know, you don't have to keep saying like, oh, it's my ADHD. Just be like, you know, I'm sorry, just, you know, and hopefully they're here with you and you can just kind of work together on it. That's the most basic of the basic. It's just the communication. Communication in the beginning, once you understand it and what's going to happen. And I've met people that I know have ADHD and they are just misdiagnosed or just never were diagnosed. There was one coworker I had that I'm 100% sure this guy had ADHD because I know the look when somebody stops listening to you and then they're just waiting for their turn to respond, but his was on another level. So like I never took offense to it, but you know, somebody who's not me, who doesn't understand what he's going through, will take offense to it. So it's best to just get in front of it, you know. I remember I would see that look and he would just zone out and I would just want to stop speaking because I know he stopped listening, even though he's like, like his eyes change and I'm just like, okay, should I even continue this sentence? I'm just like, I had to speak because I know he's just waiting for his turn to speak at that point. He's tuned out, and usually what he's gonna say changes the subject. So anyway, that's the most basic thing I can really say. Just be open about it and talk about it. First, you got to start with your loved ones, and then we'll work on dealing with it in public. That's a whole different thing. But with your loved ones, you just got to set some ground rules and just have a back and forth understanding of how you're gonna work through this. All right, until the next one. Later.